Hey there, guys, and welcome back to the Two Players Podcast, episode 63. We're going to briefly touch up on the news, get into games we've been playing recently, and then get into the awesome adventures of Captain Spirit and speculate about what Life is Strange 2 is going to be about. So first up, Netflix and Telltale Games partner up for a Minecraft and Stranger Things projects. So I believe Telltale Games is going to make a Stranger Things game, and then Netflix is going to do something else with Minecraft, I believe.
Yeah, I think at first people were thinking Netflix was like giving away copies of the Telltale Minecraft game, but I don't think that's happening. It's like a whole different thing entirely, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Like
it's a 5-episode interactive narrative series of the Minecraft story mode.
Whatever that means. Because the game is a very sort of that. Like Telltale games are basically interactive story things.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no idea what this collaboration is really going to be about. But it's pretty exciting to get a Stranger Things project from Telltale.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they don't have a great track record with stuff recently. Like, like the Guardians of the Galaxy game wasn't that great. Game of Thrones game really wasn't that good. The Walking Dead game's kind of been declining a bit in quality.
I can agree to that to a certain extent.
Like, I think Tales from the Borderlands was actually the best one they did in a while. Like, I love that one.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully the Stranger Things, they make it good. I don't know how they would fit it into like sort of like the narrative they already have going. It's probably gonna be separate different characters.
Yeah, probably like have a whole new set of characters, but still, take place within the 80s and all that, stuff that Stranger Things is about. So it's definitely very interesting because I feel like Stranger Things and Telltale, like a graphic adventure kind of game set in the Stranger Things universe sounds like a perfect match. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty excited for that. I'll be happy to, any more Stranger Things is always good for me because I love that series a lot.
Yeah, same here.
But we just gotta wait and see. Information is pretty scarce on this right now.
Yes, it is.
And speaking of Stranger Things, there's gonna be a comic by Dark Horse coming later this year. Again, always good to have more Stranger Things content. And from the artwork they're showing, it looks really good. Like they're doing a good job recreating that sort of 80s feel to it, even in comic form. And I think that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't know what is gonna take place and stuff like that.
It's actually going to explain what happened to Will in season 1.
Ah, okay, that's a good point to bring up.
Yeah, I really do like these tie-in comics because it really does bridge that gap between certain things. So it's definitely very cool. That Dark Horse.
We barely saw him in season 1. So.
Yeah, because all we know is that he was in the Upside Down, and that was about it. But we'll see actually what he was doing in the Upside Down, trying to get away from the Demogorgon or whatever. So.
Yeah.
All right. Next, Overwatch adds a brand new hero. His name in game is the Wrecking Ball, but the hamster himself is Hammond. I'm not really into Overwatch as much as you are, but it looks like a pretty cute little character. What are your thoughts on him? Because you actually did get to play him.
Yeah, I played him yesterday when he was announced, and on the PTR, and he's pretty fun. He's classified as a tank, but I really don't see how much utility he has as a tank. So basically the whole gimmick is you could roll up into a ball and sort of attach your things to certain objects in the game, and you can like swing around and like be a wrecking ball like his name suggests, and it's really fun to do that. And he has a ton of mobility because when you get a high point of your jump, or when you're like swinging around, you get a bunch of momentum, like jump halfway across the map, and it's really cool. But in terms of really helping the team like tank and take a point, I have no idea how he's gonna work. Like, he's good at closing a choke point because he could like start swinging around in there. But in terms of just like helping your team like a Reinhardt that could just shield them, I just don't know how useful he's gonna be. It's probably the most unique character they added besides like Doomfist, I think, because it really changes how you play the game from being like a first person shooter to like whatever the hell you're doing here, like rolling around and attaching yourself to things. It's really fun, and I like the mobility of it. But again, I don't know how good he's gonna be in the grand scheme of things, because mostly the boring characters are really good. So like Mercy, Reinhardt, they're good because they focus on one thing really well. Yeah. This guy is all about mobility, but I don't really know. He doesn't really do a lot of damage. He has a shield, but only for himself. So I just don't know how good he's gonna be in terms of like team compositions. But he is really fun to play, and I'm happy that they added something so weird to this game because I like when they do that. So I'm a big fan right now. I hope they add more like weird characters like this, because the last character, Brigida, was pretty just like, it was just a clone of Reinhardt but smaller. I like her character a lot, but she's still like, she's a pretty boring character. This character just seems really wacky, and I really do appreciate that.
Yeah, really far out there. It just seems like team-based games like these, just like when you have like certain champions or heroes that like do multiple things, but they're not really good at one thing, they kind of just like fall apart in a way.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem they're going to face more and more when they make new heroes, is that I feel like they're going to make these really interesting hero ideas that are really fun to play, but they just don't fit in any comp, because they just like don't, like, why would you ever take this character over like Mercy or like a Reinhardt or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're just like, there's too many things going on with them, and they don't really do anything too well, so I don't know, we just gotta wait and see, and I guess we'll just see if it breaks the meta or whatever.
Yeah.
Alright, so this was a really weird announcement. So the Nintendo Labo like bike sort of modification you can make is now compatible with Mario Kart 8. So that's cool. It gives your Labo creations like some more utility instead of the pretty bad games it comes with. And I think that's pretty cool, you know, being able to like use your creation to actually play Mario Kart that's cool.
Yeah.
Does it make me want to buy a Labo? Like, absolutely not. But I think it's cool for the people who actually built one and still have it laying around somewhere.
Yeah, I feel like the Nintendo Labo in and of itself was definitely very ambitious for Nintendo to do, and definitely props to them for actually, you know, going through with it. Yeah. And they're still supporting it with this Mario Kart 8 compatibility sort of thing. But how much further can they take it now? With the kits that they already have right now, they're probably going to have to release new ones and, you know, implement them into different games and so on and so forth. So them just adding the bike thing to Mario Kart, I think, is just step one, and I'm just interested to go and see what else they do. Obviously, it's definitely very, very cool that they are doing it like this, because it kind of reminds me of like what the Wii did, you know, when it was like, oh shoot, you know, with the Wii wheel or whatever, but now we're in like 2018 and now we have cardboard and we could put it on and we could put the Switch on that cardboard and actually control the game with it. So it's definitely very cool for them to do that.
Yeah, I'm just happy that it's not forcing it down your throat like the Wii wheel or like the motion control. It's just like a nice little optional thing you could do if you built the Labo thing. And I think that's cool for the people who built it, but it's not necessary for the people that just want to play Mario Kart. So yeah, no, I do think this is a cool idea.
Yep. All right. Yep, not much else in terms of news, so we're going to get into games we've been playing recently. So I'll go first because I have some movies I want to talk about briefly.
Yeah, go ahead.
But first up, Mario Tennis Aces. That game came out. Our friend Kofi came over, and he completely destroyed me in that game because there's a lot of mechanics in that game that are definitely very similar to fighting games. So, like, the way that you hit the ball is definitely telegraphed, so like it'll like change colors depending on how you hit it. So there's ways to like play around that and outplay your opponent that way. There's also like the trick shots and the specials and all this other stuff, and I'm just like, oh my god, there's so much to this game that, you know, a fighting game player would definitely really enjoy, which you see like a lot of Melee players and even Smash 4 players playing this game on their stream. And I don't blame them because this game definitely has a lot of mechanics that are related to fighting games. So with that in mind, I'm pretty bad at it, but hopefully I'll be able to finish the story mode by the next podcast because I think that that has a point of contention. I heard that some people said that they didn't like it. Some people kind of liked it. I'm not entirely sure on that, but
I just heard it was really short. So.
Yeah, so there's definitely some complaints with that adventure mode in and of itself. Obviously, been playing League and Fortnite. I won't get into League because I actually haven't been playing all that much, but I'm at D30LP, so pretty much that's where I am. Fortnite is still a game that I play very frequently. And yesterday I actually like popped off surprisingly, got a couple of good snipes or whatever, but you know, the game's still fun. The dual pistols came out, which It's like a burst weapon, so when you shoot it once, it shoots both bullets at the same time. So, and each bullet does like 46 damage or something like that. So you could definitely like almost one shot someone if they have no shield. So
They nerfed the pump as well, right?
yeah, they nerfed the shotguns that they do to structures. So like, what would happen is when like someone's pushing you, they would just like pump your wall, and then they would just get through and just kill you that way. But now shotguns do like less damage to structures. Also, when you're editing, before it was see through, now it's not. So now people don't just like camp in there one by one and like pencil warrior, just like edit so they could see outside. But yeah, they did a lot of changes to this game, which I'm very, very happy with. The new limited time game mode is like a custom mode, but I believe it's not out right now. Maybe it is. I'm not entirely sure, but I have not played it yet because I don't see any reason to play it other than just to like dick around and do that. So, but Fortnite's still Fortnite. I don't see it slowing down anytime soon. I know that they released a post about like different play styles and all of this other stuff, and it definitely had a lot of different opinions thrown out there by pros and casuals alike. So, but I won't throw my opinion out there because I'm definitely a casual. But Fortnite's still Fortnite, having fun with it. 2 movies that I saw: Incredibles 2. Since you didn't see it, Damian, I will just say that it is great, fantastic. Personally, I like it a lot better than the first one, just because it builds off of what the first one already established. So it pretty much does what a sequel should do, and I really did like that. And the story is good, the animation, all that stuff, I really did like that. Some people complain that like Dash got like the short end of the stick, because in the first movie, like, he was definitely a shining point of that movie. In this one, he's not exactly all that much. I mean, he's kind of just there, but he does have a sort of subplot to his character like everyone else. So but that really didn't bother me all that much. And then the other movie that I saw was Hereditary, I believe.
Oh yeah.
That's like a horror movie, and it's not entirely scary. Like, it's not jump scary. It's more like psychological. What's it called?
Thriller.
Yeah, thriller, paranormal sort of thing. Like, there's like ghost shit involved, kind of.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I really did like that movie. It honestly really surprised me because like I didn't watch any of the trailers going in. So like some people had some expectations to themselves as to what they wanted the movie to be, which is why some people say that it's really bad. But horror movies today, like if you watched A Quiet Place, you know that horror movies and like scary movies in general today are changing. So, and Hereditary is just part of that change. So I really did enjoy that movie. Definitely top 5 movies of this year. Definitely at number 5. But yeah. So that's it. That's all I've been doing for the past 2 weeks.
I have played the Splatoon 2 Octo expansion. So that came out, I think,
yes,
after...
it did.
Oh, no, the same day, I think, as Nintendo Direct, or the day after, I can't remember. But
it came out relatively close.
Yeah, because they shadow dropped it. Like, hey, it's coming out, because we didn't know when it was coming out. But yeah, it came out, and it's basically the big single-player camp expansion for Splatoon 2. And it's fantastic. I loved it. It's like 80 levels long, so it has like a ton of content in it, and it's extremely difficult. Like, I did not expect it to be as hard as it was. And I'm happy about that, because I thought Splatoon 1 and 2's campaigns had a lot of potential, but they're basically like glorified tutorials really for like the multiplayer. And I'm like, no, this deserves more. Like, you could do a lot with these mechanics with like the inking and the squids and stuff like that. And this game like really showed that you could like do that. There's some really unique levels in there. A lot of different challenges, like, don't get hit, or do this under a certain amount of time, or do this level only with the inkjet or stuff like that. And it's really good. Like, it's very creative, very difficult. I can't really talk about it too much about like,
yeah, spoilers.
Getting into like, yeah, spoiler. I know it's still new and people want to play it, and the story is actually pretty cool. I do like the little narrative they have going on here, but it is really fun. I will give you some examples of levels that just suck, Like there's like these ones with 8 balls. You know Silver? That one Silver level in 06 where I escort the 8 ball.
Oh hell yeah, dude! I always remember that level.
It's basically that level in this game, and I wanted to die. I'm like, I got like PTSD from that Silver level. There was also one. There's like defend this orb when a bunch of like Inklings are attacking it. I'm like, oh, that's good. I like that. But yeah, basically all the levels are just super unique and fun to play through. I say if you were a fan of Splatoon 1 and 2's campaigns, but felt like they needed more difficulty and like just more creativity, I feel like this will definitely deliver on that. It's really fun. The only thing that's disappointing is like they did recycle the 4 bosses from the second one's campaign, so that was kind of sad because I expected more bosses than there were. There were only the ending bit had like maybe 2 or 3 bosses, but all the other bosses returned from the second one. I'm like, that's fine. They made them really difficult, but like it was still the same bosses, so that was kind of lame. They also like use some like multiplayer maps. Oh, just do this multiplayer map and that's a level. I'm like, I don't really like that much. But besides that, that was really few and far between. Like most of the levels are all original and new. But yeah, it's great. The music is fantastic. The final bits of that expansion are really good. I love the whole climax to that story. It's really fun. But besides that, it's great. I know they said they weren't going to do another single player campaign because I know that probably took a lot of development to make because they put the all into that. Like that was like I didn't expect it to be as well made as it was. I was expecting like the 80 levels and that's it. But now they really went for it. It was really fun. And it's only $20 and it lasted me like at least like 10 hours or so. Like it's long.
That's pretty good.
So yeah, I'll say it's worth it if you're really interested in playing like a good sort of like third person shooter single player game with like platforming. It's fun. I like it.
Did you find it difficult? Because I know Kofi did.
Yes, it's really hard. There's some levels that are just a breeze, you just go through it, and some levels that are just like absolute monsters. Like wow, I hate this. Some levels took me like an hour. Like some of them are hard as hell. But the good thing is you don't have to do all the levels. If you're having a hard time, you can either skip the level. You know how Nintendo does it, where if you're having
it's like, hey, you look like you're having a little bit of trouble there.
Yeah, we could just beat it for you. So they have that mechanic in there, and you don't have to do every single level. Like you could just get the 4 like things they call it, like just the 4 MacGuffins you need to like progress through the story, and then you can just win. So you don't have to complete all 80 levels. You probably only have to complete like probably less than half of them. But that's not fun. You're paying money for it. You might as well just do everything. But yeah, no, it was great. I love it. I wish they would make more like single player content like this, but I know they said that was probably the last thing they would do. So I'm grateful that we at least got this, and it felt like the actual story for this, like Splatoon 2, because it gave you more character for Pearl Marina. So that was cool. And besides that, I've been playing just Final Fantasy 14. The expansion came out last year, and I like barely played it, so I'm just like catching up now. And it's really addicting and it's fun. Not much else to say about it besides it's an MMO. I do dungeons, you grind, you get gear, you do harder stuff, and it's fun and I like it. And I think that's all I've been playing. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I literally just Octo expansion and Final Fantasy 14 eating all my time, and I think that's it.
All right. Well, let's get into the awesome adventures of Captain Spirit. They actually dropped this a day early, so that was pretty cool. And it's free. So, and this is a prequel to Life is Strange 2, and you'll see how it connects by the end of it. But obviously, this entire discussion is going to be about spoilers. So if you haven't played it yet, it's free. It only takes you like an hour or so long if you do everything, or like do mostly everything, because you can like end it like relatively early, but
you can end it in like 10 minutes. I think,
but why would you do that when you have like all these things you need to do? So, all right, so let's get into it. So the first thing I want to ask you, did you ever get into the dad's phone?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I looked it up.
Bro, I was like, holy moly. I'm like going back and forth between the garage where like you find all of those news articles and the papers and documents about like the mom in the car crash or whatever, which rest in peace. I was like, God damn it.
They really hate cars in the Life is Strange universe.
Cars like and good parents. So but when that happened, I was like, God damn it. I like kept going back and forth like trying to like get dates and shit, and I was like, what the hell is it? And then I went on the subreddit. It was just like hot dog. It was just hot dog, and I was like, what do you mean?
Got you. And then you play like it's like Jetpack Joyride, and you just play it.
Oh,
like
okay.
That was cool.
Because that was like the only thing I couldn't get done.
Yeah, I did everything else. I did everything. Yeah, because I looked it up because I'm like I'm not looking for this code for like 10 hours. So I looked it up. All right. I guess we'll start in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
With,
So like, I mean, just like figuring out like who Chris was and like what his situation was like very interesting, and I really did like how it like progressed, because like when you meet him, like, oh look, it's just this kid who's playing with his toys, and then you, oh wait, his dad's an alcoholic, and I was like, damn son, I feel bad for the dad, and then I was like, wait, fuck this dad, because this dad's like an asshole too.
When I was in my room in the beginning, you know, I do the typical thing I do and just look at everything. And my dad got so upset. He's like, "I'm gonna kick your ass." I'm like, "Yo, chill." I'm like, you clearly don't know how I play these games. I look at everything.
All right, so what I actually did was I was looking around at everything at first, and they said, "Get in here now," and I was like, "Oh, okay." So like he like yelled at me once. I was like, "All right, I don't want him to get pissed," so I kind of just ran out, and he was like. He wasn't as bad. He was just like, just get out here when I tell you. But like, he wasn't even done with the breakfast. I was like, what do you mean?
Right. Yeah, if you keep ignoring him, you just can't interact or anything anymore. And he just like, yeah, I'm gonna kick your ass if you don't come over here. So I'm like, God, like chill, dude. So I went there, and then like he said the same thing to me as well. So. And then after that, you know, when you're sitting on the table, you can clearly see he's drinking like 9 in the morning.
I was like, this guy's actually drinking beer. Like, what's going on?
So like the thing with him is like I know I don't have an alcoholic father, but
yeah, same here.
I was reading in the subreddit that, you know, apparently is like pretty close to home, where it's like, like so nice sometimes, then it gets real nasty and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, that's depressing. And you could see when you go to your father when he sits down on the chair, or when you're in the kitchen, you can see that Chris's arm is bruised.
So I was like, oh shit, he actually beat him up too.
Yeah, so he beats him too. I'm like, chill, game, like Jesus Christ. What else happened in that scene?
When he was like, all I want is the new game console, and I was like, oh my god.
I was like, yeah, because I was gonna say this kid should like play some video games, and it's like, oh, my console's broken, you never fixed it. I'm like, oh no.
Rest in peace. And then like you found it in the closet, right? The new one. I was like, oh, nice. And then like one thing that I was like, wait, he didn't put the key back, he didn't do anything like that. When right? Yeah, because I was like, can I put it back? I don't want to get caught here.
Yeah, and I think they did such a good job nailing the atmosphere, because I was scared to do anything. Like, I didn't hit my dad with the what was like the Nerf gun thing you could find on the left, like in the shelf, because I was afraid something bad would happen. But apparently, I was reading in the subreddit, like just a wholesome scene plays out. But I was too scared to do it because I don't want to get beat. I'm like, oh my god, like what like good, like that's some, they nailed it there. Even though like it's a bad thing to nail, it's still really good.
Yeah. The atmosphere of just like the game itself was definitely really, really good. What was another thing? Freaking like I was like, I can't put the key back, like, but it made sense because like when I went back to, you know, go and like look for like the code for the goddamn phone, I was like, it would have been really annoying to like get the key again and put it in. So especially since on how the game ends, which is like, you know, I was like, oh shoot, he has powers, but I think it's actually like the brothers next door who actually do have the powers, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because it wouldn't make sense for him just to get powers all of a sudden. I think it was the other kid, like the neighbor kid, that's probably going to be the main character. I think this guy's going to be a Chloe, and then the other guy's going to be like the Max, where he has the power of like telekinesis or something. Because he kept hinting that too, like, you know, obviously he was levitating at the end there for a little bit. And you know, the whole thing with Captain Spirit is like he keeps trying to use like telekinesis. So I think this is a big like, you know, foreshadowing of what the main ability is going to be this time.
Yeah.
And I think that's interesting because with Max, her ability is like you can't really see it. Like, because she goes back in time and no one really knows what she's doing. With telekinesis, everyone can see what you're doing there. So it's going to be interesting to see how that power works out in Life is Strange 2.
Yeah.
Also, I found the game format to be pretty interesting, where it was very open this time. Like, you could end the episode in like 2 minutes if you wanted to by just talking to your dad again after the game or something. But it gives you a bunch of objectives to do. and you can just do them however way you want. And I think that's pretty cool. I don't know if they're gonna do that with any future episodes because that's a little too open.
Yeah,
they can't really do like a big story like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's good just to get all the background for Chris's information, like what happened to his mom and stuff like that.
Yeah, because like getting all that information really does help when you're gonna get into Life is Strange 2, which is set to come out September 27th. So that's relatively soon as well. And like one thing that I really liked about this game was that like they showed us like the new engine or like the new sort of like way the game was going to be played out. So like the first decision you make when it comes to like your outfit, I was like, how do I change the decision? I was like, WS doesn't work.
Yes, I was the same exact way. I was like, W arrow keys. And
yeah, I was like, WS doesn't work.
Weird.
The actual arrow keys don't work. And then I was like, oh, I accidentally hit the left click. And I was like, I didn't want to pick that. But it was actually the scroll wheel. So,
yes.
And the way you make other decisions in this game was also very different from like even like Deck Nines and even, you know, the first Life is Strange. So, they definitely updated like the in-game engine, which definitely appreciated because, you know, Telltale has been running on that same engine for however many years, but Donut is actually making an attempt to, you know, update their stuff.
Yes, and the lip syncing is a lot better too.
Yes, that too.
In Life is Strange 1, it was pretty not great. So I'm happy to see them like upgrade the UI and like all that stuff. So yeah, I'm really happy that they actually updated the engine while keeping the same look that Life is Strange is known for at this point. So yeah, I thought the stuff with his mom was pretty interesting. Like they kept showing that she was an artist. She went to Blackwell as well.
Yeah,
something like that. So that was pretty interesting to see because they're still in Oregon, I think. So
supposedly she was a fan of what's his face. Goddamn, he was. Fuck. The goddamn teacher. From the first game. I forget his name.
Jefferson?
Yes, Jefferson. Like supposedly she was a fan of him. I read something on the subreddit discussion because like there was books of his stuff on the shelf.
Oh wow.
So but yeah, that was, you know, like obviously interconnecting the entire world together, so that was definitely very, very cool.
So I think the game seems to take place at the same time as Life is Strange 1 because Arcadia Bay, obviously they can't say if it's destroyed or not because that would kind of break what you made your decision in the first game. It would be cool if they did like a whole you could transfer your save thing, but I don't know if they're gonna do that. But just looking at the ages, because when you go to your dad's room, you can see the height thing, you know, that the kids do, and I think it's taking place at the same time as it has in like 14, 15. I think that's when Life is Strange took place.
Yeah, something like that.
So I thought that was pretty interesting because I don't know if they could do the whole like Arcadia Bay just destroy because that would be major news probably.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What else? Or
actually, Life is Strange 2 it takes place during the good timeline where Chloe dies.
Yeah, that could also be true.
That's what I feel like is gonna happen because like if it took place in the other ending, we probably wouldn't even have, you know, Captain Spirit.
I mean, it makes sense because I mean that ending feels canon anyway.
Yeah.
It's like way longer and like makes way more sense. I'm sorry, people who pick Chloe, but it just does. So yeah, I could see that happening too if they want to piss off like half the fan base. But I was gonna say I thought it was cool how they kind of connected the whole Mantroid thing where it's like it's the two street names together.
Oh yeah.
And he can't see the like who the villain is because, you know, he doesn't know like who murdered his mom. And I think that is an important thing to say. I don't think it was just a hit and run because it keeps saying it was like probably intentional how she died. Like she just got ran over probably because it was straight up murder. So and you can see the letters that the dad keeps pressuring the police to like do something. So that was pretty interesting to see as well. And also brings up the point with the dad where it's like I get that he's kind of a mess, but it's also like you're kind of a dick. like I get it, but it's also like take me away, neighbor, like to child protection services.
Oh yeah, that interaction with the neighbor was like the only
I like totally messed
interaction.
that up on purpose. Like I was just like, yeah, just take me away.
Oh no, bro! I was like, he's right there, so I was like, yeah, you know, he just fell over, you know, nothing much. And then like when I came back, he was like, "What'd you say?" I was like, "Oh God." He's like, "I heard everything" or whatever, but like, you know, he was still, you know, saying mean shit, and then instantly tried to take it back.
Yeah. So yeah, and then that leads up to him running up to the treehouse. Then he like the ladders fall, and that's when the power is revealed, where he was before he hits the ground, he starts levitating. So, yeah, a lot of people just don't know if it's Chris doing that or if it's the neighbor. And I think it has to be the neighbor because conveniently he was there when that.
Oh
happened.
yeah, man.
So yeah, I don't think it was Chris doing that. So.
Mm-hmm. But what else about the whole? I mean, did you find it like cringy? Cause like, all right, so when I first started playing it, I was like, oh god, But then like 10, 15, even like 20 minutes in, I was like, all right, I'm playing as a kid, so I kind of like got into it at that point.
I was the same way, and then I'm like, well, this is just what they do.
Yeah,
so
I'm like, man, when I was like his age, I did dumb shit, So
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I didn't have video games, it's probably how I would.
Yeah, just playing with toys, making up your own stories, playing outside or whatever,
Yeah, like so. Yeah, I was also the same way. I was like, oh, and then I'm like, it's sometimes like mood whiplash because sometimes you do like Captain Spirit and you die.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, oh no.
You brought him the mac and cheese, right? Or
no,
whatever?
I actually did not. I didn't. Do that.
Okay.
What happens?
Oh my god, one thing I messed up, which I thought I was going to get hit for, was when you're like cleaning the dishes, and like I was like, all right, time to act as Captain Spirit. I dropped the glass in the sink.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh god.
Yeah, I didn't do that, but my brother did do that. And I'm like, wow, good job.
Yeah.
So I was just doing everything normally, like if it was important. And then I did the Captain Spirit stuff if I have to. So.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I liked it a lot, and I think the whole Captain Spirit thing might come back. Like they might mention it, like the pirate thing, like that Max and Chloe always did. So I think that might be like the new thing to just bring up every time.
Yeah, because.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like, all right, so I guess we could get into like what we think Life is Strange 2 might be about, because we're going to get official details in August. So 1 month before the new season actually starts. But what I think Life is Strange 2 is going to be about is that is going to revolve around these new characters. So we have Chris, and then the neighbors. I believe one of the kids' name is Stefan or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
But it's also going to have Max in there somehow. So she's going to be in the, it's definitely going to jump back and forth between these two characters. And I'm not exactly sure if they're actually going to, like do it like that, or if they're going to maybe have, maybe like one episode they focus on Max, or maybe Max isn't even in the second season or whatever.
I just think Max might just like show up really briefly, maybe at the end, and say something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if she's gonna be like a giant, like important part of this story, because she did have a lot of screen time already. So I think they want to like devote it to like these two new characters instead.
Yeah.
But, I guess we gotta see. Like, I don't think Max is gonna have a big role in this, even though it says Life is Strange 2. I don't know if she's gonna have that big of a role in this.
Yeah.
Even though I like Max, but I don't know if she's gonna really be in this game too much.
Yeah, because I could definitely see your point, because it's a little weird on like how do you develop Max now, because like she went through everything that she went through within the first season to try to save Chloe, but at the end of like the more canon ending, she kind of just had to let her die.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, I guess that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's not so much else. I mean, it's coming out really soon. I mean, they also announced, like right after Captain Spirit was announced in E3, and like a few weeks later, it's like, hey, Life is Strange 2 is coming out. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I really didn't expect that to come out as soon as it did, but yeah, it's coming out. So, September something, I think.
27th. So,
yeah.
1, 2,
and so that's just another thing
3.
to add to September, which already is full of stuff. So.
Yep, we're 3 months away, a little bit less than that, so it's definitely very, very exciting. But yeah, I think that's about it. Is there anything else you would like to add?
No, I think that's about it.
All right, well, that is the end of the Two Players Podcast, episode 63, and we will see you guys 2 weeks from now with the next episode.
See ya.